Right, let me ask you something. What do you get when you combine a Labour government hemorrhaging support faster than a broken radiator in January, a Conservative party that can't seem to hold on to its own MPs, and a purple wave that's about to crash into town halls across England? You get the May 2026 local elections, and frankly, it might be the most chaotic, dramatic, and politically seismic voting day this country has seen in years. Welcome back to British Reform. Let's get into it. On the 7th of May, more than 5,000 council seats will be up for grabs across 136 local authorities in England. 5,000. That's not a local election. That's a full-blown political reckoning. And the timing could not be worse for the two parties that have dominated British politics for the last century. Labour and the Conservatives are both walking into this like they've forgotten to revise for the most important exam of the year. Except the exam is happening in front of the entire country, and there are no retakes. Let's start with Labour, because honestly, where do you even begin? Since May 2025, Labour has seen its share of the vote in local by-elections fall by an average of 25%. 25%. That's not a dip. That's not a wobble. That is a cliff edge, and Keir Starmer is currently standing at the bottom of it, looking up, wondering what went wrong. Analysis suggests that if this trend continues, Labour's losses could edge closer to 2,000 councillors. 2,000. You could fill the O2 Arena twice over with the Labour councillors about to lose their seats. Actually, you probably could, and they'd all be sitting there in matching rosettes wondering if they should update their CVS. Now here's the kicker. More than half of the seats up for grabs this year are being defended by Labour, reflecting the party's current strength in London and in the Metropolitan boroughs. So Labour isn't just defending a few seats here and there, they're defending the bulk of them. Think of it like this. Imagine you've been playing Jenga, and someone has just decided to pull out the bottom layer. That is Labour's position heading into May. But wait, don't go feeling too sorry for the Conservatives just yet, because they are not exactly riding high either. The Conservatives face particular jeopardy in the 6 county council elections, where dozens of seats could change hands if Reform performs as well as it did in 2025. Dozens of seats. Gone. And where are they going? Well, let's just say they're not going to Labour. They're going somewhere far more interesting. Because here's where it gets properly exciting. Reform has now established itself as the dominant force on the right of British politics, consistently polling between 26 and 32% since May last year, maintaining a clear lead over its competitors. Let that sink in for a second. Not the Conservatives. Not Labour. Reform UK. The party that in 2022 won just 2 council seats across the entire country. 2. You could fit Reform's entire 2022 council group into a black cab and still have room for the driver. And now, the model projects Reform to win the most votes in 6 to 9 of the 128 councils analysed, with strength especially pronounced in formerly red wall authorities such as Hartlepool and Wigan. Hartlepool and Wigan, 2 places that not long ago were considered Labour heartlands. Places where the red rosette used to be practically handed down through generations like a family heirloom. Those days appear to be well and truly over. Now, what's driving this? It's not complicated. People are fed up. Fed up with the cost of living. Fed up with the NHS. Fed up with being told things are getting better when their weekly shop says otherwise. Local elections might technically be about bins and pavements and planning applications. But let's be honest. Nobody goes to the polling station in a fury because their recycling collection moved to a Tuesday. These elections serve as a verdict on national matters such as the cost of living, economy, immigration, and foreign affairs. And right now, the national mood is not exactly a glowing endorsement of the current state of affairs. There's also something fascinating happening at the top of the Reform story, and it's not all smooth sailing. The party has seen its share of internal turbulence. Former Reform MP Rupert Lowe announced the creation of his own political party, Restore Britain, with a number of Reform councillors subsequently defecting to the new group. So even as Reform surges in the polls, there are cracks forming behind the scenes. It's the classic problem of a fast-growing political movement. You attract a lot of people very quickly, and not all of them are going to agree on everything. Managing that, while simultaneously trying to win thousands of council seats, is no small task. Meanwhile, in January 2026 alone, 3 Conservative MPs defected to Reform: Robert Jenrick, Andrew Rosendell, and former Home Secretary Suella Braverman. 3 MPs in a single month. January, the month where everyone is supposedly being sensible and disciplined after the Christmas break. The Conservatives are essentially becoming a revolving door at this point, and the door keeps spinning in one direction, straight into Reform's waiting arms. And then there's the wider picture. The English local elections on May 7th coincide with elections for the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senedd, making it a truly significant day for UK democracy. Scotland and Wales are holding their own battles, with Reform targeting the Senedd under a new proportional system that could deliver them seats in Cardiff Bay for the very first time. The political map of Britain is being redrawn in real time, and May the 7th could be the day we look back on as the moment that redrawing became impossible to ignore. So what does all this mean? It means British politics has never been more fragmented, more volatile, or frankly more entertaining to follow. The two-party system that defined Westminster for over 100 years is crumbling, and in its place is something genuinely unpredictable. Labour is hemorrhaging support. The Tories are losing MPs to their rivals almost monthly. Reform is on the rise but navigating its own internal splits. The Greens are polling at record levels. The Lib Dems are quietly hoovering up seats in places people barely talk about. It's political chaos, and it's happening right now, in real time. The outcomes of these elections will provide insights into public sentiment ahead of potential future general elections, shaping party strategies and policy priorities for years to come. In other words, what happens on May 7th doesn't stay on May 7th. It echoes. It shapes the next general election conversation. It tells us where the country is actually heading, beyond the spin and the press conferences and the carefully managed media appearances. This is why you need to be paying attention. This is why it matters. And this is exactly why we cover it every single day here on British Reform. If you want to stay ahead of every twist, every defection, every shock result, and every political bombshell between now and polling day, make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell, and come back here because I'll be covering every single development as it happens. The May elections are coming, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's about to unfold.